They say family gatherings are just food, laughter, and catching up, until one moment under the stars makes you question everything you thought you knew about love, boundaries, and the person lying next to you. The mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the whole truth either. At 37, I catch glimpses of the woman I used to be, vibrant, hopeful, always chasing something more. Now, as I swipe on mascara in my quiet apartment, I feel like a flower left too long in the vase, petals curling at the edges, color fading. My name is Elise, and I'm a manager at a mid-sized marketing firm. The title sounds impressive, but it's just meetings, emails, and a desk that feels like a cage. My life has become a loop of routine, and somewhere along the way, I stopped believing in the dreams I used to chase. I wanted a family, a partner, someone to share the quiet moments with. But the men I've met only wanted one night, and I'm too old to keep playing that game. The phone rings, snapping me out of my thoughts. It's my older sister, Claire, her voice bright and bubbling. Elise, you're coming to my 40th birthday, right? No excuses. She's turning the big 40, and she's planned a 2-day celebration, a fancy dinner at a restaurant on the first night, then a cozy family gathering at her house the next day. They live in a city a few hours away, so she insists I stay the weekend. Bring something cute to wear, she teases. You're still the stylish aunt, you know. I laugh, but her words linger. Stylish aunt. That's what I've always been to Jordan, Claire's 18-year-old son. He's the kid who used to follow me around at family gatherings, wide-eyed, asking me about my job, my clothes, my life in the city. I was his cool aunt, the one who slipped him extra dessert and let him try on my sunglasses. But it's been a while since we've spent real time together. He's grown up now, probably more interested in his friends or his phone than his old aunt. Still, the thought of seeing him and the rest of the family sparks something in me. A flicker of excitement. Maybe even purpose. I spend the next few days planning my outfits like it's a mission. I want to look good, not just for Claire's party, but for myself. I want to feel like the Elise who used to turn heads, who believed love was still possible. I settle on a sleek emerald green dress for the restaurant, modern but elegant, with heels that make me feel powerful. For the second day at the house, I pack a soft cashmere sweater and tailored jeans, casual but chic. I catch myself smiling as I fold them into my suitcase. Maybe this weekend will be a reset, a chance to shake off the monotony. The drive to Claire's city is long but peaceful, the kind of road trip that lets your mind wander. I think about Jordan, wondering what he's like now. The last time I saw him was over a year ago, and he was all lanky limbs and shy smiles. Claire's mentioned he's changed, more confident, maybe a little rebellious. He's still a good kid, she'd said, but he's definitely not a kid anymore. I brushed the thought aside. He's my nephew. My role is to be the fun aunt, nothing more. When I pull into their driveway, Claire's house is glowing with string lights and the hum of music. She greets me with a hug that smells like her favorite jasmine perfume. You look amazing, she says, eyeing my dress. The restaurant is a blur of clinking glasses, laughter, and toasts to Claire's milestone. Jordan's there, sitting across the table, and I'm struck by how different he looks. His hair is longer, curling at the edges, and his shoulders are broader, like he's been hitting the gym. He catches my eye and flashes a grin, the same one he used to give me when we'd sneak cookies before dinner. Annalise, you're killing it, he says, gesturing to my dress. I laugh, feeling a warmth I haven't felt in months. The night is easy, filled with family stories and too much wine. Jordan's quieter than I expected, but every now and then, I catch him watching me, his expression unreadable. It's probably nothing, just a teenager being moody. After dinner, we head back to Claire's house, and I'm shown to the guest room. It's cozy, with a big window overlooking the backyard. I'm exhausted, but my mind is buzzing. I slip into my silk black robe, the fabric cool against my skin, and try to sleep. But the quiet of the house feels heavy, like it's waiting for something to happen. I'm just drifting off when I hear a soft knock. The door creaks open, and Jordan's head pokes in. Hey, Annalise, he whispers like we're kids sneaking out of bed. Wanna do something fun? Before I can answer, he's pulling me out of the room, a blanket tucked under one arm and a pack of cigarettes in his hand. I protest, but he's already leading me to the backyard, his excitement contagious. We spread the blanket on the grass, the night air cool and crisp. Jordan lies down, patting the spot next to him. Come on, look at the stars. I hesitate, then join him, feeling a little ridiculous, but also alive in a way I haven't in years. He lights a cigarette, the flame briefly illuminating his face. He's not the boy I remember. His jaw is sharper, his eyes deeper, like they hold secrets I'll never know. He offers me the cigarette, and I take a drag, the smoke curling between us. We pass it back and forth, the silence comfortable but charged, like we're sharing more than just nicotine. You're different now, I say, breaking the quiet. He turns his head, his eyes locking onto mine. So are you, he says, his voice low. But you're still my favorite person. My heart does a strange little flip, and I tell myself it's just nostalgia, just the wine from dinner. We talk about everything and nothing, his college plans, my job, the way the stars seem brighter out here. For the first time in months, I feel seen, like someone cares about the real me, not just the manager or the aunt. When the cigarette is gone, we stay there, lying side by side, the blanket soft beneath us. I'm hyper-aware of his presence, the warmth of his arm just inches from mine. It's innocent, I tell myself. He's my nephew. But as we head back inside, my mind is racing. I slip into bed, the silk robe clinging to my skin, and try to sleep. But thoughts of Jordan, his voice, his eyes, the way he looked at me, keep me awake. Then my phone buzzes. A text from Jordan. If you like to eat at night like me, come to the kitchen. I stare at the screen, my heart pounding. It's just a snack, I tell myself. Just family. But as I pull myself out of bed and head downstairs, I know something's shifting, something I can't quite name. A late-night snack in a quiet kitchen should be nothing more than waffles and laughter, until a single glance, a shared moment, makes you wonder if you're crossing a line you can never uncross. The staircase creaks under my bare feet as I make my way to the kitchen, my silk black robe swishing softly against my legs. The house is dark, save for the faint glow spilling from the kitchen doorway. My heart is doing this ridiculous flutter, and I keep telling myself it's nothing, just a late-night craving, just Jordan being his usual playful self. He's my nephew, for God's sake. But that text, if you like to eat at night like me, come to the kitchen, sits heavy in my mind, like it's more than an invitation for a snack. I pause at the threshold, taking a deep breath. I'm 37, a grown woman. I can handle a midnight waffle session without overthinking it. When I step into the kitchen, Jordan's standing at the counter, his back to me, the sleeves of his loose t-shirt rolled up to his elbows. The air smells like warm batter and sugar, and there's a waffle iron hissing on the counter. He's slicing strawberries with a kind of focus that makes me smile. His tongue peeks out slightly, like he's concentrating harder than he needs to. A can of whipped cream sits nearby, and I notice a smudge of it on his cheek. He looks alive, unguarded, like the boy I used to know, but also someone entirely new. Hey, you made it, he says, turning to grin at me. His eyes flick over my robe, just for a second, and I feel a flush creep up my neck. I tug the fabric tighter, suddenly hyper-aware of how thin it is. Couldn't sleep either? He asks, his voice casual but warm, like he's genuinely happy I'm here. Nope, I say, leaning against the counter to seem relaxed. What's all this? You're baking at midnight? He laughs, a low, easy sound that makes the kitchen feel smaller. Belgian waffles and Elise. The best kind. And strawberries, because I know you love them. He holds up a perfectly sliced berry, popping it into his mouth with a grin. I'm struck by how he remembers that strawberries have always been my favorite. It's a small thing, but it feels significant, like he's been paying attention all these years. I slide onto his stool at the island, watching as he flips a waffle onto a plate. "You're gonna love this," he says, his enthusiasm infectious. He squirts a swirl of whipped cream onto the waffle, then adds a handful of strawberries. It's messy, imperfect, and somehow perfect because of it. He slides the plate toward me, but before I can take a bite, he grabs the whipped cream can and aims it at his mouth, squirting a ridiculous amount. It's so goofy that I burst out laughing, the tension in my chest easing. "You're a mess," I say, shaking my head. He wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, smearing the cream even more, and I laugh harder. For a moment, it's just us, like it used to be when he was younger, when we'd sneak ice cream or make silly faces at family dinners. But then he looks at me, his eyes catching the light, and the air shifts. It's subtle, but it's there. A spark, a question neither of us is asking out loud. "Want some?" he asks, holding up the whipped cream can. His voice is playful, but his gaze is steady, almost daring. I hesitate, then nod, feeling like I'm stepping into something I don't fully understand. He leans across the counter, closer than he needs to, and squirts a small burst of cream into my mouth. The sweetness hits my tongue, but it's his closeness that makes my pulse race. The way his eyes linger on my lips, the way his breath catches, just slightly. I swallow, my throat tight, and force a smile. "Delicious," I say, my voice lighter than I feel. He grins, but he doesn't move back. Instead, he sets the can down and leans his elbows on the counter, his face just a foot from mine. The kitchen feels too small now, the hum of the fridge too loud. I should say something, change the subject, but my mind is blank. "You know," he says, his voice softer now, "I've always thought you were different. Not like other adults. You get me." His words are simple, but they land like a stone in still water, rippling through me. I want to laugh it off, to tell him he's just being sentimental, but the way he's looking at me, open, unguarded, makes it impossible. "Jordan, I'm just your aunt," I say, but the words feel weak, like they're trying to convince me as much as him. He tilts his head, his expression unreadable. "Yeah, but you're more than that," he says.
"You're you.
"You're the one I always wanted to impress, you know? Even when I was a kid." His voice is quiet, but it's steady, like he's been holding on to these words for a long time. My heart does that flip again, and I hate myself for it. This is wrong. I know it's wrong. But the way he's looking at me, like I'm not just Elise the manager or Elise the aunt but Elise the woman, makes me feel alive in a way I haven't in years. I clear my throat, trying to break the spell. "You're gonna make me cry, kid," I say, forcing a laugh. He smiles, but it's not the goofy grin from earlier. It's softer, more serious. He reaches for another strawberry, holding it out to me. I take it, our fingers brushing for a split second. It's nothing, I tell myself. Just a touch. But my skin tingles where his hand grazed mine. We eat in silence for a while, the waffles warm and sweet, the strawberries tart against the cream. It's comfortable, but there's an undercurrent, a tension I can't ignore. I keep stealing glances at him, his messy hair, the way his t-shirt stretches across his shoulders, the way he licks cream off his thumb. He's 18, but he's not a boy anymore. He's something else. Someone I'm not supposed to notice like this. "So," he says, breaking the silence, "what's it like? Your life in the city. You happy?" The question catches me off guard. No one asks me that, not really. Not Claire, not my friends, not even myself. I open my mouth to give the usual answer. Busy, fine, you know how it is, but the truth spills out instead. "It's lonely," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "I thought I'd have more by now. A family, maybe. Someone who stays." I don't know why I'm telling him this, but his eyes are locked on mine, and it feels safe, like he won't judge me. He nods like he understands more than he should. "You deserve that," he says. "Someone who sees you, really sees you." His words hit me harder than I expect, and I feel tears prick my eyes. I blink them away, embarrassed, but he doesn't look away. He reaches out, his hand hovering near mine, like he wants to touch me, but isn't sure if he should. Jordan, I start, but I don't know how to finish. The air feels thick, like we're standing at the edge of something dangerous. I push my plate away, standing up. It's late. We should get some sleep. He nods, but his eyes don't leave mine.
Yeah.
Okay. I turn to go, my heart pounding, but his voice stops me. Aunt Elise. I look back. He's standing now, closer than before. Thanks for coming down. It means a lot. I smile, my chest tight. Good night, Jordan. I walk back to my room, my mind a mess of thoughts I shouldn't be having. I climb into bed, the silk robe cold against my skin, and try to sleep. But all I can see is his face, his eyes, the way he looked at me like I was more than just his aunt. Sometimes a single moment, a glance, a touch, a whispered truth, can unravel everything you thought you knew about yourself, leaving you to decide whether to step back or leap into the unknown. The guest room is too quiet, the kind of quiet that amplifies every thought I'm trying to bury. I lie in bed, the silk black robe tangled around my legs, staring at the ceiling. The clock on the nightstand glows 2:17 a.m., but sleep feels like a distant dream. My mind is a carousel of images. Jordan's grin as he squirted whipped cream into my mouth, the way his fingers brushed mine when he handed me a strawberry, the weight of his words when he said, "You deserve someone who sees you." I squeeze my eyes shut, willing myself to stop. He's my nephew, my sister's son. But the truth, the one I've been dodging since I arrived, is clawing its way to the surface. I don't just see him as family anymore. And that terrifies me. I'm 37, a woman who's built a life on control, schedules, meetings, carefully curated outfits. But here, in this house, with Jordan's text still burning in my phone, I feel like I'm unraveling. I want to blame the wine from dinner, the stars we stared at, the late-night waffles. But it's more than that. It's the way he looks at me, like I'm not just Elise, but someone worth knowing, someone worth wanting. And God help me, I want to be wanted. My phone buzzes again, and my heart lurches. I grab it, half expecting another message from Jordan, but it's just a notification from work. I let out a shaky breath, disappointed and relieved at the same time. I should stay in bed, let the night pass, let this weekend become a memory I can tuck away. But my body has other plans. I slip out of bed, my bare feet cold against the hardwood, and head back to the kitchen. I tell myself I'm just thirsty, just need a glass of water. But deep down, I know I'm hoping he's still there. The kitchen is dim, lit only by the moonlight streaming through the window. Jordan's there, sitting at the island, a half-eaten waffle on a plate in front of him. He looks up when I enter, and his face softens, like he was waiting for me too. "Couldn't sleep?" he asks, his voice low, almost a whisper. I shake my head, leaning against the counter to keep some distance between us. "Too much on my mind," I say, trying to sound casual. He nods, his eyes searching mine, and I feel exposed, like he can see every thought I'm trying to hide. "Me too," he says. He pushes the plate aside and stands, moving closer. Not too close, but enough that I can smell the faint trace of his cologne, something woodsy and warm. "Elise, can I say something? And you promise not to freak out." My stomach twists, but I nod. "Okay." He takes a deep breath, his hands fidgeting at his sides. "I've always looked up to you. You're not like anyone else. You're strong and smart and beautiful." The last word lands like a spark, igniting something in me I've been trying to smother. And I know I'm not supposed to feel this way, but I do. I can't stop thinking about you. My breath catches, and I feel like the room is tilting. "Jordan, you can't say that," I whisper, but my voice is weak, like I don't fully believe it. "I'm your aunt. This isn't right." "I know," he says, his voice raw. "I know it's messed up, but it's how I feel." And I think you feel something too. He steps closer, and I should move back, should leave, but my feet are rooted to the floor. His eyes are locked on mine, and there's a vulnerability there, a plea for me to be honest. I want to deny it, to tell him he's wrong, but the lie won't come. Instead, I feel tears prick my eyes, because he's right. I've been fighting it all weekend, the pull, the connection, the way he makes me feel alive. Jordan, we can't, I say, but it sounds like a question, like I'm begging him to convince me otherwise. He reaches out, his hand hovering near my arm, not touching but close enough that I can feel the warmth of his skin. I'm not a kid anymore, he says. And you're not just my aunt. You're everything. His voice cracks, and it breaks something in me, some wall I've been holding up for years. The kitchen is silent except for the faint hum of the fridge. We're standing too close now, the air between us electric. I should walk away. I should go back to bed, back to my life, back to being the woman who knows better. But then he moves, just a fraction, and I mirror him, like we're caught in some invisible current. Our faces are inches apart, and I can see the flecks of gold in his eyes, the way his lips part slightly. My heart is pounding so loud I'm sure he can hear it. Elise, he whispers, and it's the first time he's used my name like that, without the aunt, like I'm just a woman to him. It's a small thing, but it shatters the last of my resistance. I don't know who moves first. Maybe it's me, maybe it's him, but suddenly our lips meet, soft and tentative, like we're both afraid of what this means. The kiss is brief, a fleeting moment that feels like a lifetime. It's not passionate or reckless. It's gentle, almost reverent, like we're both acknowledging something we can't take back. We pull apart, our breaths uneven, and the weight of what just happened crashes over me. My hand flies to my mouth, my eyes wide. "Oh my God," I whisper. We shouldn't have done that." Jordan looks as shaken as I feel, his face pale in the moonlight. "I'm sorry," he says, his voice trembling. I wanted to, but I didn't want to mess things up." I shake my head, tears spilling now. "It's not your fault. It's mine. I'm the adult here. I should have stopped this." My voice breaks, and I take a step back, the distance between us feeling like a chasm. "We can't do this, Jordan. We can't." He nods, his jaw tight, but his eyes are still on me, full of something I can't bear to name. "I know," he says, "but I don't regret it." I turn and walk out of the kitchen, my heart a tangled mess of guilt, longing, and shame. Back in the guest room, I curl up under the covers, my body shaking. The kiss replays in my mind, soft and forbidden, and I hate myself for wanting it to happen again. I think of Claire, asleep down the hall, oblivious to the line her son and I just crossed. I think of the family we're part of, the rules we're supposed to follow. But most of all, I think of Jordan, his voice, his touch, the way he made me feel like I was more than a wilting flower. The next morning, I pack my bags early, avoiding Jordan's eyes at breakfast. Claire hugs me goodbye, oblivious to the storm inside me. "Come back soon," she says, and I nod, my throat tight. Jordan lingers by the door as I leave, his expression unreadable. "Take care, Aunt Elise," he says, and the word "aunt" feels like a knife. I drive home, the road blurring through my tears. I don't know what happens next, how we move forward, how I face him at the next family gathering. But one thing is clear. That weekend changed everything. I'm not just an aunt anymore. And Jordan's not just my nephew. We're two people who saw each other, really saw each other, and now we have to live with what that means.